Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate ringsidenews.com. This is a busy week for the NoDQ.com YouTube channel. In case you haven't heard already, Talk Wrestling with Jeff Meacham is coming back to the YouTube channel, and he has a special guest with him, the whole effing show, Rob Van Dam. Make sure you subscribe, youtube.com/NoDQCAW. No DQ&A video will continue as usual. Also, I have WCW Wednesday tomorrow, which will be the final WCW Wednesday, where I've been recapping the WCW pay-per-views from 1988 to 2001. Took me about 8 months to get through all those WCW pay-per-views, and this last video I shot it the other day, went about 45 minutes. So if you enjoy listening to me ramble about wrestling, make sure you check out WCW Wednesday tomorrow for WCW pay-per-view recaps from 2000 and 2001. Now that that's all out of the way, let's get down to your questions from spring.me/AaronRift. First one today comes from Matt Zell. Hey Aaron, please answer in video. With Brock Lesnar and John Cena having their match set, do you think WWE will add Randy Orton to make it a triple threat? Then they can have Rollins screw over Orton to keep their feud going or for Orton to turn face. What do you think? Thanks. Well, based off of Raw this week, Randy Orton already officially made his babyface turn. And I will say, a few people asked me about Orton's promo on Raw and what I thought. Randy Orton did a tremendous job with his promo. He came out there. He showed a lot of fire. The most fire that I've seen in Randy Orton in many years. I mean, that was a very intense promo from him, and the most animated he's been in a long time. So I thought he did a really good job with that. And the crowd, I think, is ready for a Randy Orton babyface turn. The whole out-of-nowhere internet sensation that's been going on over the past few weeks, people seem to want Randy Orton as a babyface. I initially thought that the best way to have Randy Orton as a babyface would be for him to go up against Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series in his hometown. Sounded to me like a good business decision, but it appears that WWE doesn't want to bring back Brock Lesnar and spend the extra money on him. So they're going to hold off on Lesnar and Cena until the Royal Rumble, which I think is ridiculous, but that's what they want to do. That's what they feel is best for business. And once again, they're the guys that are making the money and they're running the company. So what do I know? What do any of us know that are watching this right now? WWE is going with Team Cena versus Team Authority. Essentially, it's filler until the Royal Rumble. I like the traditional Survivor Series matches, so whatever. I would prefer a title match at Survivor Series, but clearly we're not getting that now, so just going to have to accept what WWE is doing and just try to enjoy Survivor Series and enjoy the elimination match. All right, this next one comes from That Was My Fault. Do you think that the Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins match was the best WWE match in a long time, or even better than the Triple H and Undertaker match with Shawn Michaels? Please answer in video. I thought that Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins had the best Hell in a Cell match since WWE went PG. I really enjoyed that match a lot, and yes, I thought that it was a better match than Triple H and Undertaker at WrestleMania. I always thought that WrestleMania match was very disappointing. I did enjoy the post-match moment with Triple H, Undertaker, and Shawn Michaels embracing. That was an all-time classic moment in WWE, in my opinion. But I thought that the match itself was disappointing. Ambrose and Rollins, I thought, was tremendous. It was very similar to the first Hell in a Cell match with Shawn Michaels and Undertaker. You had HBK taking the bump off the side of the cell through the table, and you had a similar situation in this match with Ambrose and Rollins, except both guys were going through the two tables. And even though it was very choreographed, you could see that the monitors were removed from the announce tables. I still thought it was a really cool spot. And the two of them were just on fire. I mean, I was extremely impressed with both of them. Great match. As far as the finish went, once again, similar to the 97 match, but instead of Kane coming out and costing Undertaker, you had Bray Wyatt cost Dean Ambrose the match. Really made no logical sense. With Kane, they were building that up. Paul Bear was teasing it for weeks, and you already had a storyline leading up to that interference. But for this, it's just completely random interference. Bray Wyatt just showing up and costing Dean Ambrose the match. So I didn't think it was quite as strong as the 97 match, obviously, but they needed to do something with Bray Wyatt. They shot all those promos for him. They needed to get him back into the mix, so they came up with this finish to have him cost Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins wins. Not how I would have booked it. I would have had the babyface go over in the final match and give Dean Ambrose that big win. I think that he needed it more than Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins already has the briefcase, and he's already the top heel right now with Brock Lesnar not around. I think that Dean Ambrose should have won the match, but once again, who am I to critique WWE? I'm not the one that's making the big decisions, and I'm not the multi-million-dollar company, so whatever. All right, this next one comes from John H. T.R. Garabed. Hey, Aaron, what are your thoughts on WWE ending Elimination Chamber in February, and do you think it's another huge letdown for yet another random pay-per-view name taking over? Apparently, it's going to be called Fastlane or Fast Track. Please answer in video and keep it up. I can understand why WWE wants to move Elimination Chamber, because traditionally you would have the Royal Rumble winner face one champion, and then the Elimination Chamber match would determine the second challenger for the other title. But since there's only one title now, Elimination Chamber doesn't really serve that purpose. Now, you could have Elimination Chamber be for the WWE title, and then that determines who's going to WrestleMania as champion. But I guess WWE feels it's just too much in a short period of time. And Elimination Chamber, that February pay-per-view before Elimination Chamber was a transitional pay-per-view between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. So it's not quite as important as Rumble and Mania. And maybe WWE wants to make Elimination Chamber more important, so therefore they want to move it to a time when you can have the winner go on to face a champion at WrestleMania, or SummerSlam. By making it the June pay-per-view, you can have the winner go on to SummerSlam and face the champion. So when you look at it from that logical viewpoint, I totally understand why WWE is making that move. But as far as calling the pay-per-view Fastlane, I really hope they have a better name than that. I know it's a throwaway pay-per-view. It's a transitional pay-per-view, but I would prefer if they came up with a more unique name or some kind of concept that at least make the pay-per-view somewhat important and not just make it a complete throwaway. I mean, that name right there just screams this show is not important at all. All right, this one comes from WWE fan Dark Arrow. Hey, Aaron, do you want Chris Masters back in WWE? Regarding Chris Masters, I think that he could have been a bigger star in WWE. I think it's too little too late now. I don't know if I would want him back at this point, because you need to focus on the younger talent, and there's new guys coming in, and WWE's doing well when it comes to up-and-coming stars. I mean, with all due respect to Chris Masters, I think he's a talented guy, and I think that if he was utilized better during his maybe second time in WWE around 2008, 2009, I think he could have been a top-tier star in WWE. But now you have guys like Kevin Steen and Sami Zayn and all these guys in NXT. Those are the guys that I want to see get the opportunity on the main roster, and I'd rather see them get a shot than bringing back stars from the past and trying to push them again. Chris Masters, I think could have gotten a better deal in WWE and could have been utilized better, but it's been done with now. He had his chance, and that's the unfortunate reality. Guys come in, sometimes they get a good push, sometimes they don't. Then WWE moves on to the next people. But if there is an opportunity for him to come back, I would love to see him return and see what he could do. All right, this one comes from Kayfabe Candy Ass. Do you think WWE hit the reset button on Ryback and will push him as a top or near the top main event babyface? The crowd popped damn good for him, but then again they popped when Cena did his weekly Sheamus pandering to local sports teams. It definitely seemed to me like WWE's giving him a renewed main event push. I don't know if he's going to be a top tier guy. Once again, even though he's with the company, I kind of can compare it to Chris Masters, where Ryback had his big push and his big opportunity, but I would rather see the younger guys come in and get those spots and be at the top of the card. The Sami Zayns and the Kevin Steens. Those are the guys that I want to see get the corporate machine behind them. Ryback had his chance, and like Chris Masters, I feel that Ryback could have been utilized better in WWE. By putting him in there with CM Punk when he was undefeated and WWE didn't want to take the title off of Punk. That was just bad booking on WWE's part, and that did some damage to Ryback and his career. Will Ryback be a top star? I mean, who knows? I mean, the crowd certainly seems to be in favor of him being a babyface. They reacted. Clearly, he's being designed as a babyface again with the Feed Me More chants being implemented back into his act. So we'll see where it goes. I don't know if he's ever going to be quite at the level that he was in 2012 prior to that Hell in a Cell match with Punk. All right, one more question here, or two more. This one comes from CPW1978. I talked about Ryback's return. He asked me, does Ryback's singles run leave Curtis Axel to be buried? And then he also asked if Ryback will feud with Rusev soon. I think that with Ryback, I would keep him away from Rusev. Right now, it looks like Rusev is going to be maybe going for the U.S. title. That seems to be the next logical step for him. And I don't really see the two of them clashing at this point. Ryback seems to be getting a new push, and Rusev is still being groomed to be a top heel monster in WWE until he eventually reaches the top, which I'm guessing will be John Cena. Curtis Axel is in a bad spot. No question about it. I'm not sure what you do with him at this point. He was a Paul Heyman guy, but it really didn't go all that far. And the team with Ryback, it kept him busy. It gave him a role on TV every week. But right now, it's not looking good for Axel in terms of getting a regular spot on the roster again. And going back to earlier, once again, with Chris Masters, Curtis Axel, talented guy, but, you got to focus on other people, and that's what WWE usually does. When something doesn't work out with one guy, they put him aside, and they bring in somebody else who's a little bit younger and somebody who hasn't been pushed on TV already. And once a guy's character is damaged, it's hard for him to recover, and with Curtis Axel, I don't think the fans really take him seriously, and I don't know if there's anything that can be done for the people to take him seriously again. So it might be time to focus on somebody else. All right, last question here from Calvin Bowman 1. Hey Aaron, what do you see in Adam Rose's future? Will he get a singles push anytime soon? Want to thank you, answer in video. This has kind of been a theme here with these questions. The same thing can be applied to Adam Rose as with Curtis Axel and Chris Masters. Adam Rose has been labeled a lower card comedy act. And I don't know about a singles push for him. I don't know if people will ever be able to take him seriously. He's always going to be seen as the guy that came out. Some people thought his act was funny. A lot of people thought it was dumb. And they're going to associate him with a man in a bunny costume. And, maybe if Adam Rose disappeared for a while and came back, you could change his character, do something else with him. It did work for Bray Wyatt. He was Husky Harris, and even though you had some fans chanting Husky Harris at the shows, he was able to make a transformation and be an entirely new character, and he was able to be taken seriously. But that doesn't always happen. It's not a guarantee that Adam Rose could leave, completely change his look, and come back, and people would take him seriously. So just don't know about him. But as far as his current character goes, don't really see it going anywhere. All right, that'll wrap it up for this edition of No DQ&A Video. Subscribe if you haven't already at youtube.com/NoDQCAW. WCW Wednesday coming up. Talk Wrestling with Jeff Meacham and RVD coming up. And more No DQ&A videos. Submit your questions. Spring.me/Aaron Rift. And I will see you guys next time for more.